Previously on Young Marbles.
The focus that Charlie has is tremendous.
People from around the world apply to get into the Julliard pre-college program, and only a select few get accepted.
We moved to New York because Duncan was accepted into the pre-professional program at American Ballet Theater.
It was really stressful to say goodbye to everyone, and just everything was a big whirlwind.
She's working too.
Tonight on Young Marbles.
I spend a lot of time for laps competition, for laps lessons. It's very hard for me because I'm alone.
When it comes to my singing career, I do give up a lot of other opportunities, such as hanging out with friends.
Amazing grace. I'm really wondering what her voice is going to sound like when she's 18. Technically, she shouldn't be doing that yet. Like me. Sophia for the last year has asked me if she can do homeschool. She's going into high school next year. I think she'd miss out on the social aspect. I loved high school, and I think she should love high school.
I really love opera. It's like one big fairy tale. I don't want to fall or forget my steps.
You know, you don't have to do this.
I can't picture my life without playing the cello. I'm 8 years old and I speak 8 languages. My plan is to become a famous singer. My life is ballroom dancing. I will do everything to win.
Matthew is a musician who happens to be blind, not a blind musician.
If you don't push yourself like crazy, then you're not gonna go anywhere.
Go on to class and I'll see you a little bit later.
Okay.
Have a good day.
On Saturdays, I go to Merit from 10:15 to 5:15.
Merit School of Music started 35 years ago. The most talented, most motivated students in the Chicagoland area audition to get in. And Saturdays are tuition-free conservatory.
I go to my theory classes, and then I learn all about the throat and my breathing. After that, I go to vocal tech with Miss Jane.
Hello. How's
Hi.
it going today?
Good.
Maya, I met her when she was, I believe, 8 years old. And she literally blew me away because she had a huge voice. Okay, so really big deep breath and a nice sigh. Good. Initially, she was singing very strong and heavy and would always go hoarse after like 2 songs. And that's where the training comes in. Her high note, the spin is incredible. Last one. Sounds lovely, honey. I know you're not used to that voice yet, but it's there. For Maya, her voice shifted so young that I think it's just a matter of her range developing further and figuring out how to handle the natural voice so that you don't hurt yourself.
Prodigies are so extraordinary that anyone looking at them would go, whoa, how is it possible for that voice to come from such a young child? Some people wonder if you can create musical genius or artistic genius in the absence of talent, just by training, just by motivation. The answer is no.
All right, so she has a soft-spoken voice, but as soon as she's singing, she reaches deep down inside of her soul and just delivers the older, wiser version of herself. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. You don't teach that, it's just there. And you can't explain why it's there.
Well, Miss J, she's awesome. I mean, she's been there with me since the beginning, and I want her to be there, I'm gonna say when I become famous.
It's very important to me that she understands that I'm invested in her and not just her voice. But now, I was gonna harmonize with you. I see. I want her to be a kid. You know, I want her to work hard, but not to like run past her childhood. So. That's fine. She's releasing stress. All right, honey, go have lunch.
Bye.
All right, sweetheart.
Singing is important to me because it's a part of my life. Like, I can't go through my whole life without music. My friends, they get my commitment to music and they're very supportive. School. One day I can come in a dressy shirt because I don't have enough time to change because I have some kind of performance after school. I might get a few laughs, but they know I do it because I have to.
I talked to his teachers in school because a lot of people are asking this question, is he going to be stuck up? He's thinking of himself as a star. And his teacher said, he's a very humble boy. He doesn't like to brag about himself.
I do give up a lot of other opportunities, such as hanging out with friends. See Luke, see you, Ben. Well, my after-school activities on the usual week are Monday, piano, and Lucky 10.
Lucky 10, Young Talent Studio.
They do amazing work with kids, producing operas, musicals, all sorts of concerts.
Tuesday, private lesson with Alexander. Thursday, I have another piano.
I can hear melody.
My piano teacher, she teaches me not only to play piano, but to stay on task, not get distracted. Friday, private lesson with Alexander. He pushes me to do my best. We'll spend about a month. After we get the song, it's like a painting. It looks finished. But now we're adding like the tiniest things, like the eyebrows to people's eyes. Every day is a hard day for me, even on Saturdays, because I usually have rehearsals.
You can't teach somebody that passion. It's a characteristic that I've come to call a rage to master. These are children who are intensely driven, who love doing what they're doing, and it's actually hard to stop them. They want to practice. They want to play their music. They love it.
I feel really lucky getting the gift of music in my ears. My singing comes first before anything.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. Lev is very competitive. He usually wants to learn the advanced stuff. He really feels the drive in order to succeed. And 1, I would like to see your facial expressions working. He knows what he comes for, and he knows his mom is paying for his classes, and he always knows that he should be here and give 100% effort.
I spend a lot of time for Lev's competition, for Lev's lessons, for Lev's activities. I care and I love it to do it. I love to do it.
Can you come and play with me?
But sometimes it's very hard for me because I'm alone. My husband is away. He is a lawyer in Russia. 6 months in the year. Lev loves his father so much, and he waits for him every time.
He comes back there with toys and a book for me.
During 6 months, I'm not by myself. I'm with Lev. We are together. Now, Lev is my life, and we are sometimes like two friends. And sometimes I can watch him, and I think he's adult.
Coming up.
When I'm on stage, I really have to be professional and be an adult. But sometimes I want to be the class clown, and that sometimes gets me in trouble. I don't know. This is something that I do, and I just can't control.
Back home, I'd be teased and looked down on a little bit because I was a dancer.
Every student at PCS has their own schedule demands. We have dancers and musicians, we have actors. So the school's responsibility is to find a way to make that work. It's hard to be working and training and practicing and being away from home and do your schoolwork. So we give everybody lots of flexibility about that.
It's nice because they understand a PCS and they know like what I'm doing.
There's really two sides to me, Charles and Charlie. Charles is more my serious side when I play the cello and everything. And Charlie is me joking around with my friends and having fun.
Okay, so like these are my home slices. Like we roll, like we're a pack. All of us, we roll together.
Get on.
He's not gonna pop a J. That's pretty impressive.
When I'm on stage, I really have to be professional and be an adult and be very mature and stuff. Sometimes I want to be noticed and I want to be the class clown, and that sometimes gets me in trouble. I don't know. This is something that I do and I just can't control.
How did he get over there?
There's a common perception that prodigies are really nerds in every other aspect of their life. The evidence suggests the opposite, that prodigies tend to be well-rounded, they tend to be higher intelligence in general, which means they tend to have more interests outside of the narrow talent that they have.
My friends sort of realize what a big thing this is in my life, me playing the cello, and I've told them a couple times what it really means. And they just are still amazed at how good I am at the cello.
Most of the time, Charlie plays cello, practices it all the time. So there's not a lot of time any of his friends can really hang out with him that much.
Scheduling. We have to schedule it.
You know, we get invited to dinners with our friends. The kids get invited to birthday parties, bar mitzvahs, sweet 16s, you know, the different events. So we want Charlie to be part of that, but at the same time, we also want him to do his music, and we want him to do well in school.
Right.
And there are only 24 hours in a day.
Right.
So the
That's
biggest
the hardest.
sacrifice, is
How do you make everything successful?
I'm just practicing 2 hours a day, doing my homework, and being the kid that I am.
there is this notion of the tiger mom, or, you know, pushing your kids to do something. We're not like that, and I'm so opposed to that philosophy. I wouldn't make him do math for 3 hours, so why would I make him do cello for 3 hours? I think there's a little of moderation with everything. So does he have to practice every day? Sure, yes. But does he have to practice crazy amount? No.
I don't think there's anything wrong with setting a practice time for your child and making sure that they practice every day. I would follow the child's passion, but I would not force a child to practice many hours a day, because there's something to be said for downtime and for letting your mind wander, because when your mind wanders, you have interesting thoughts, imagination, play.
I go to the Professional Children's School in Manhattan, which is PCS, and it is for professional kids like me who are doing things outside of school and have crazy schedules.
Every student at PCS has their own schedule demands. We have dancers and musicians, we have actors. So the school's responsibility is to find a way to make that work. It's hard to be working and training and practicing and being away from home and do your schoolwork. So we give everybody lots of flexibility about that.
So please remember, this is about your voice, about your message.
In the long run, they have to do what they have to do, but they don't have to do it necessarily on the same schedule. More often than not, we have to stop them from staying up too late and not getting enough rest by telling them they can hand it in next week.
It's nice because they understand a PCS and they know like what I'm doing. Back home in Vermont, I would be teased and looked down on a little bit because I was a dancer.
Being a 14-year-old boy dancer is different because there aren't very many at all. So oftentimes
get treated differently. Being with all the girls, I mean, there's all the guys in Vermont say that it's like really gay or something like that, but honestly, I'm spending way more time with girls than they are, so that's pretty awesome.
Coming up, my grandparents, they're a really big part of my life.
We moved into my parents' house so that we could have somewhere to live. There is no way I could have done this on my own. Sophia goes to a regular public school, and she's in 8th grade, and she, for the last year, has asked me if she can do homeschool, which I guess isn't really homeschool anymore, it's online school, and I think she'd miss out on the social aspect. She's going into high school next year, and I think she should be going to football games and homecoming and dances and hanging out with her friends in the quad at lunch. She doesn't really have much interest in that. I loved high school, and I think she should love high school.
I explained him, you are only 8 years old, but you got a lot of things you want, and we cannot spend the time for lazy time. We need to do an exercise, okay? For posture.
I exercise for dancing.
More down, okay.
The sit-ups are for to make my knees stronger, my legs stronger, and my thighs stronger. Finished, Mom.
Oh, very good job. Please take a seat. In our family, we follow Russian rules of discipline. If you have a target, you need to work. He should understand it when he is young. Today, you have a test. Yeah? We never have a free day during the week because every day after school he has some activities. Last favorite is dancing, but sometimes he has 2 activities a day: ice skating, karate class, or piano.
You did some mistakes. It's okay. No, ты должен more practice.
Sometimes he doesn't want to take piano lesson, but now we don't have a problem. He likes to play the piano.
G, ta, 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 ta.
I have a hard time with playing separately, like left hand soft, right hand loud.
Я думаю, что помогает и очень помогает, потому что это все взаимосвязано. То есть пластика движения, ритм, музыкальность. Как без этого? Танец очень взаимосвязаны. No. Okay? Can you play from here? Я верю в Леву. Он умеет добиваться того, чего хочет. Если захочет...
Hello.
On piano days, I don't have time to play.
I explained him, okay, you are only 8 years old, but you got a lot of things you want, and we cannot spend the time for playing and for lazy time.
Let's go. LA, here we come. We're gonna go, bye, you guys. What's coming home? Sophia and I live in a house with my parents.
Have a nice time.
Okay. When she was 3 years old, I got divorced from her dad, who still lives in town.
I see my dad every Tuesday afternoon and every other weekend.
There's a lot of driving at night. He's busy and can't really drive her down to LA. It does put stress on me. I mean, it's me that's up late at night and driving long distances, so I do all that. I'm the dance mom, without being a dance mom. We moved into my parents' house so that we could have somewhere to live because I'm a teacher, so on a single teacher salary, it was hard to find a house in Santa Barbara. It's a little expensive. So we moved in here temporarily. My dad said, we love having you live here. Why don't we make it permanent?
I really love having the everyday experiences, knowing the ins and outs of her life. It's just really terrific.
My grandparents, they're a really big part of my life. So they drive me to and from school. They make meals for me. And we are closer than most families of kids and grandparents are. So it's really nice.
There is no way I could have done this on my own. Sophia goes to a regular public school, and she's in 8th grade, and she, for the last year, has asked me if she can do homeschool, which I guess isn't really homeschool anymore, it's online school, and I think she'd miss out on the social aspect. She's going into high school next year, and I think she should be going to football games and homecoming and dances and hanging out with her friends in the quad at lunch. She doesn't really have much interest in that. I loved high school, and I think she should love high school, but she's lobbying very heavily for doing homeschool next year. And I think she sees homeschool or online school as I wouldn't be as tired, I would have more time, I could go to auditions, I wouldn't be missing school.
I spend a long time in the car, almost 5.5 hours a day.
We drive to LA. She'll take classes at Millennium. Sometimes we're out of there by 9, and then drive home, go right to bed, and start all over again.
There's nothing that I would really want to be doing besides dance, because dance kind of takes over my life, so I have to keep working hard for dance. Everything isn't just natural, you have to constantly keep training and taking classes. Next time on Young Marvels.
I'm really scared. I'm performing in front of music industry people. I just hope that something will come out of it.
We don't know how he does it because there seems to be so much going on with the 2 levels of keys and then the pedals at the bottom.
There's some professionals that don't even know how to use the foot pedals.
I want to go to Harvard University because that's where almost all of the presidents went.
But that's where the idea of Harvard came from.
I took it from you.
He loves being at ABT, but we'd like Duncan to have both mom and dad.
It's really hard for me. It's been really hard for me to be up here